Hi everyone, my name is Emily, and I did my project on changing the criminal justice system from within, and specifically talking about police accountability. This is my table of contents page. So on slide one, I'm going to be talking about the background of police accountability and why it's so important. On slide two, I'm going to be talking about Justice Reform Group, specifically CPA, Coalition for Police Accountability. On slide three, I'm going to be talking about law enforcement groups that I believe are susceptible to change. This includes city police departments and county sheriff's office. On slide four, I'm going to be discussing two specific laws that protect law enforcement and why it's so important for everybody to know what they are. And on slide five, I'm going to be discussing creating common grounds, specifically talking about establishing white bridges. So police accountability involves holding police officers and law enforcement agencies accountable for their actions. So this includes using excessive force, placing a citizen under false arrest, warrantless searches or arrests, racial profiling, and also an unlawful murder. So since police officers hold so much power, it's pretty easy for their actions to be swept under the rug. And it's too often that police officers violate their role within their community. And also, oftentimes, cases of police officers using excessive force ends up being considered legal and justified. And also, police officers can sometimes be exonerated for their actions, which kind of puts a stigma on police officers, making it seem like they won't help you because they have all of this power. And if they do something wrong or they unlawfully kill somebody, they'll be protected no matter what. So I think that holding police accountable for their actions is so important in maintaining the public's faith in the system and the community's trust within them. So these are two laws that protect law enforcement. One is qualified immunity, and the other is Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights. So qualified immunity is a judicial doctrine that protects government officials from civil lawsuits if unconstitutional action is not clearly established. And Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights protects American law enforcement personnel from like investigation and prosecution that arises from conduct during performance of their duty. And these two laws are pretty important because it makes it very difficult to hold the police officer accountable because both of these rights protect them pretty well. So I'm also going to be discussing one specific justice reform group, CPA, Coalition for Police Accountability. So this specific group advocates for accountability of the police, the Oakland Police Department, and their goal is for Oakland PD to operate with equitable, just, constitutional, transparent policies and practices to reflect the values and trust of their community. So this is a great organization in terms of holding police accountable. And I also think that if we were able to create an organization like this for every police department, and if not every police department, then maybe the biggest police departments that have a lot of difficulty in holding their police officers accountable, I think that it can create a huge difference within their community and will instill trust within police departments and their community as well. So I'm going to be talking about two law enforcement groups that I think are susceptible to change. I also included a little photo of university police. I think that city police departments, county sheriff's office, and also university police departments are a great group of law enforcement that are susceptible to change because if all three of these were able to hold themselves accountable, I think that all of the other law enforcements will follow in their footsteps because these are kind of the main three police officers, or I should say law enforcement groups that have a difficult time holding themselves accountable for actions that they do. So creating common ground, I think that if we were to have structures in place to promote responsible and accountable policing, this will ensure that police officers are held responsible for their actions. Um, and I also think that implementing policies that make police officers and their law enforcement agencies directly responsible to the people that they serve, I think that this will create or it will increase their relationship between police officers and their community. And it will also create trust and reliability as well. Also, establishing wide bridges. I think that doing this will also enable trust, credibility, and legitimacy. So, this would include expanding knowledge with people on different political standpoints of the issue. This will ensure that you see the issue from all sides. So, when I mean different political standpoints on the issue, in terms of this specific issue, I think that if we were to have people who agree with police accountability and holding police accountable, and also having a group of people who don't think that police officers need to be held accountable because of their role as a police officer, if we were to have groups of those two people discussing their knowledge and their opinions, I think that this is a great way to expand everybody's knowledge and kind of take away the bias in everybody else's opinions and try to create a sense of understanding it from both sides of the issue. And this is my reference. Thank you so much for listening.